And That's Okay is a podcast encouraging individuals to elevate and embrace their true selves despite societal expectations. Joining me, Angelique Royale, as I share my journey and highlight the importance of personal development. You will hear conversations about mental health, self-discovery, and more, all aiming to help others navigate life and find joy. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's get into it. Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of And That's Okay with Angelique Royale. I am your host, Angelique Royale, and I know it's been a minute. It's been far too long, and I'm so happy to be back. I missed you guys. I hoped you missed me too, but we're just going to go ahead and dive straight into the episode. Listen. 2023 taught me to take inventory of my life. And sometimes the things that are happening and going on, that's going right, that's going wrong, you can't figure it out, is one thing after another, things keep happening, and it could just simply be a sign that you need to take inventory of your life. Slow down, take a deep breath, and let's unpack a few things. But I'm going to go first. I'm going to let you know what was going on with me and what I've been doing outside of the podcast and trying to figure out for myself. I realized how much I consume myself with work and my relationship with my husband. That was something that really opened my eyes in 2023, that I was like, yo, you're really consumed, that you're not allowing anything else to happen. You're trying to control everything rather than paying attention to yourself and just play your role as a wife and as a woman as a whole. Like, why are you so consumed with what your husband is doing and what he's not doing? And why are you trying to fix him? Why are you trying to catch things before they happen? Because in your mind, you think they're going to happen and you're not allowing them to just play out. Like, why are you doing that? So 2023 was like, girl, get it together. You're stressing yourself out. You're exhausted. You're tired because you're trying to get so ahead of things instead of just allowing life to play out and just enjoying things day by day. I am such a different person sitting here talking to you today than I was 6 months ago. Probably than I was a week ago, but I can say for sure I see the growth from myself and I see the changes I needed to make and what I want to happen moving forward. And I'm definitely allowing God to be in the driver's seat. I'm in the passenger seat with my feet up. I'm controlling the audio and enjoying the ride. Where we going? You told me just enjoy. Okay, I'm going to trust you. And I am just going to sit here and enjoy this ride because me doing it my way, I was stressing myself out. I was tired. It was something where I realized that I was in a dark place and was putting aside my own joy and happiness because I was so consumed with the work and with my marriage. And it was like those negative thoughts were getting the best of you, girl. And on the surface, I was positive. But me talking to me, I wasn't the meanest or the nicest, but it was just something where I was letting those thoughts take me down a spiral. I was letting those thoughts spiral. And I got to a point where it was like, I want peace. I was trying everything to find peace. I was trying everything to change whatever I can change. And the crazy thing is that I found the peace I was looking for in God. Like nothing else was fulfilling that void I was trying so hard to fix by changing everything that was around me and not looking inside of me. So I made the decision to start my mornings with God and make the relationship more intimate between me and him. I knew God. I've always believed in God. My mother went to church. My mother took me to church with her. I listened to sermons, but I never had that relationship of where I actually dedicated time for me to really sit with him, for me to really sit in silence, for me to write down, for me to bawl my eyes out talking to him, for me to really just meditate on what I'm reading and actually really get to know God and read the Bible and not allow everyone else to come in and tell me what God's doing. Like, let me read it for myself. And it was this one verse that deeply resonated with me. And this is from John chapter 14, verse 27. It says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give as the world gives. Don't let your heart be troubled or fearful." And that's from the CSB version, a Christian Standard Bible version. And that is something where I am getting through day by day because he has instilled this peace in me. Some days, I don't even know how. Like, I have an uplifted spirit. It was times where I would have been so hard on myself in the past that it would make me just not want to get out of bed, because I'm like, you should be doing this. You're still not working. You left your job. You made X amount of money and you let that go. And it was just like I was beating myself up and I got tired. And then it's like, now it's a breath of fresh air. Such a breath of fresh air to have that peace. Let me plug this in real quick. Can you do me a favor and review the podcast on Apple or any platform you're listening on? Like a written review, just a sentence or two, nothing too crazy. Oh, don't forget to follow the podcast on IG or subscribe to the website. All info is in the description. Okay, all right. Let me get you back to the episode. Thanks in advance. And also on top of that, it was like leaving my job at the end of 2022 gave me the space to finally see the whole picture. So I no longer had that distraction and was able to look at my life and see what was going on. Like, I had to remove those glasses. And for it being a year later, I'm grateful that I was brave enough to walk away. It was something that was past due. And I'm so grateful to have been able to walk away, because back then I was experiencing work and life burnout at the same time. Things in my personal life was not going well. I was like, what's going on? And then at work, I was realizing that I was outgrowing the job. And I was just like, I couldn't find happiness or joy in anything. So I'm like, it's time for a change. But at the same time, I was comfortable. I was ignoring the signs, which was probably the main reason of why I reached burnout, because I wasn't paying attention, because I was so consumed. And it's something now where it's like, wow, I definitely put work above a lot of things. I definitely didn't do a lot of things because, I had to work. And that's not happiness. My identity was tied to my job, and I had to release myself of that because it wasn't no fun. It wasn't fulfilling for me. And then it was like, I didn't have structure outside of work. There was no purpose in life for me. I was just existing and just thought I was doing what I was supposed to do. And I needed to release myself from all of that, because I wasn't listening to my heart. I wasn't going after the things that I desired. I wasn't really trying new things. I wasn't making sure that I was spending time with the people that I loved. I wasn't taking the opportunities to seek joy. Everything was just, I don't know. Let me not do this. Let me do that. I got to hold on to this. Let me not this. Girl, spend the money. It's going to come back. Your time is not going to come back. Spend time with your family. Spend time with your friends. Take the trip. Live life. Live life. And with all of that, I started to declutter my space. Like, I wanted to make room for what's new to come. It was so many things that was in my life and in my house that had no purpose. That was just taking up space. That was just basically collecting dust. And I was like, this gotta go. Because you're not doing anything for me. I felt cluttered. I felt tight. I felt like I could not breathe in my own home. So I started and I did a heavy declutter, and it took me the entire year to do it because every time I was coming across something, I was like, oh, I don't need this. Why do I have 3 of these? Why do I have 4 of these? What am I doing this? I haven't used this in a year, in a couple years. Can I use this now? Oh, donate it. Somebody else can find it. Somebody else can get it. I was asking people, do you need this? Do you want this? Do you da-da-da-da? But it was also like one of those, like, don't take my clutter and turn it into more clutter in your crib. Are you actually going to use this? Okay. Make sure you use it. Don't let it be extra clutter on top of what you already have. Like, we have to declutter our spaces and declutter our lives. Take inventory and allow life to be more purposeful. Every minute doesn't have to be accounted for all the way down to the T, but definitely be intentional. Be intentional. I also had to stop mindless spending on things that didn't even have value. I came across a post on social media where it was like, why, I believe it said millenniums have like OCD or declutter, and it was because our parents had junk drawers and everything was just full of stuff, full of knickknacks and full of da-da-da. I refuse. I can't. I don't like it. I want to know what I have and where things are and be easy to find things. So I stopped going into the store and buying something just because it's cute. Yeah, it's cute, but it doesn't mean I have to have it. I don't got to have it because it's cute. Just because I like it doesn't mean I need it in my closet. Just because someone else looks good and it doesn't mean I need to buy it too. That was getting me too, that FOMO. And I talked about that in that previous episode, is thinking that you need things because other people is posting it or other people have it and you like it. Whereas like, you don't necessarily need it. Just because you like it doesn't mean it does anything for you. And then I also like wanted to surround myself with things that made me feel good. Friends, family, good food. If things I liked, I indulged or I had it just to have that dopamine, but it was something where it wasn't something I obsessed about. Like, I enjoyed it for the instant gratification and then I moved on. It wasn't like I was constantly trying to, oh, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. Oh, makes me feel so good, makes me feel so good. It was like, no, I got it. It made me feel good. Okay, let me move on. And then if I have it again, I might hope to experience the same thing, but it's something that I didn't idolize. But I know what made me feel good if I needed an extra pick-me-up or a little bit more help. I definitely started to release myself of survival mode. Now, this is a big one. And rest is something that is stated in the Bible. And I'm learning that we are created to rest. Rest is still productive. Timing is everything. God created the world in 6 days and he rests on the 7th. Even God rests. Why do we feel like we have to be busybodies and have to move every second, every minute of the day and every day? Why do we feel like that? Like the world, and I struggle with this because the world just has us doing so many things that are so detrimental to our health. And we don't realize it because we're so used to it. That's all we know. And unless you have the curiosity to step out into something different or to slow down and really look at things, like it's not even going to occur to you. You're going to just keep moving and keep doing. That gave me peace too. Learning how to rest. I'm still learning how to rest. I'm better because in the beginning and not working, I felt like I had to do something every day to be productive, but I wasn't making progress. I was just doing stuff. And like, what did I do today? What did I do yesterday? I couldn't even remember what I was doing. And it was like, it took me a few months to be like, it's okay. Take that nap. It's okay. Sleeping. You've worked so hard all of your life. It's okay to take this time to rest. This is what you wanted. And I realized that I was living in a prayer that I had prayed. And when I released myself and realized that, it became easier to rest because it's like I wanted this. I said I needed time off to get my mind together. I needed time off to deprogram myself and reset and restore. But I was not doing that. I wasn't working, but I still wasn't doing it at home. But now I have a better grasp of it and can understand how to rest. And also with that and everything that was going on in my life in 2023, I understand how to set boundaries better. It's still a work in progress. It's a journey, but I know what I'm willing to do and not do. I understand what I wouldn't even say stress myself to do, but how much I can extend myself to other people. That way I'm not emptying my cup. Let's take a moment and unpack a few things for you. Okay? I know you like, Ange, like, come on, girl. Like, we ain't talking about me. We want to talk about you. Like, no, we're going to talk about you too, because I want to encourage you to just take a look. You don't got to dive super deep. You don't have to check all the boxes or do everything. I want to just help you get the thought in your brain so that when things aren't going right, you know how to check in with yourself. The whole goal is to check in with yourself and say, oh, what changed? What's different? What's going on? And it's like, just take one area and focus on it and allow things to fall in place. And also have the grace that sometimes some things may take longer than others to get through. So don't even rush the process. Long as you're doing something and you're aiming to understand it, it'll work itself out. So look, I'm going to give you a few things to look into. But you do not have to stop here, girl. Go as deep as you want to go or go as light as you want to go. If you just want to dust off the surface because the surface is a little dusty, dust it off, girl. But if you want to dig deep, get the shovel and dig deep. Do that, girl. Just make sure you have the support to help you get through that. A friend, a therapist, guide. Have someone that you can sit down and kind of bounce ideas off if you're comfortable with and you trust this person with this information, because sometimes other perspectives can allow you to see things a little differently. So look into your life and see if there's anything that has no purpose. It ain't doing nothing for you. It ain't helping. It ain't hurting either, but it's just taking up space. We want to open up space for new things, and if it's not of value, let it go. Think about stopping the hindering habits. If it's no longer working for you, let it go. I know we hold on to comfortability, but if something's not working for you, figure out something else to do. It's a reason that it's not working. Maybe you're no longer in that season anymore, so it doesn't apply to the new season and you got to let it go. But keep that in mind. Social media, the big stuff. How do you feel after scrolling? Are you even paying attention to what you're looking at? Because scrolling on social media can paint this picture in your mind, and then you start to compare your life and say you should have this or you should have that, where you don't even know the backstory. So think about what's on social media, what you're consuming, and evaluate that. Cut down the screen time, turn off the apps after a certain time, unfollow some people. It's a lot of times I go through where I want to see people every day. I don't want to see you every day. I will mute your stories and just catch you on a post. That's sometimes how I feel, because social media can be draining, and it's nothing against the person. I just don't want to see that every day because I understand how it affects me. Another one is, what's stopping you from seeing the big picture? Like, what's in your way? You can't see past this point. Like, what are you so focused on? What are you overconsumed in? Like, girl, I was overconsumed of marriage and work, and I couldn't see my life beyond that, not even for myself, of what I wanted to do or who God created me to be as a woman. How am I supposed to impact people? Thank God for this podcast I get to talk to y'all and let y'all know and encourage you the best way I can. But even that was hard to see, because I had to take a minute and step back. And part of that step back was to regain my focus because I also lost what the purpose of the podcast was. So think about that. Look into your priorities. Is there anything that needs to be changed? Is there anything that needs to come up the list and something be dropped down? Is there anything that you no longer need to prioritize because this season in your life is a little bit different? Think about that, because we don't check in as often as we should, and we be hanging on to something that we done got to a certain point that's maintained. Now we can drop that down a little bit because we're maintaining it, and then bring something up to the top that needs to be prioritized. And I'm taking that for myself too, girl, because I gotta look into that. Lastly, how are you valuing your time? Are you endlessly scrolling? Are you just going with the flow every day? Do you have a schedule? Do you have any type of time structure to better your time? You feel like I don't have enough time to do this, do that, do this and that, but you're not paying attention and evaluating how you're spending your time. Look at that and then see how that can be improved and changed so that you can better your time moving forward. I read that we are overcharged with desire. So in a means of also resting, I have read that we are overcharged with desire, that it is hard to come to simple rest. And I want you to think about that. The desire to do this, the desire to do that, the desire to do all of this, and then the pressure to feel like you have to do it right now. And Michelle Obama said in her interview with Oprah that you can have everything, but you can't have it all at the same time. And that stuck with me because I did myself went through a point of wanting everything and feeling like, why everything can't go right now? Why I gotta wait for everything and something always going wrong, something always going wrong. And I had to change my perspective and realize that it's not always true. But you can have everything, and it may not be all at the same time because we do have different seasons in life, and not everything. I feel like everything isn't supposed to last forever, but as long as you experienced it and you found fulfillment within it, I feel like it's a job well done.